Okay, pulled the 4 screws out of the cabinet that holds the drawer and the access panel below the stove. And yeah, it's solid teak on the frame, plywood on the rest of it. The rails are solid teak though, for that and the small drawer on the other side. Yeah, so let's clean them up, see how we go. As per Catalina, the interior wood gets cleaned with pure turpentine, stainless or bronze wool, wiped off, let dry, and re-oiled. Lots of dirt gets in here. I guess I'm gonna go with green. Well, it looks a lot better. Okay, once it dried, I saw some more dirt in there, so folded over a piece of Scotch-Brite and used the end bits because they're a bit more squared off. And then scrubbed it all out, hit it with the turpentine again, and then wiped it with a rag, and that took care of it. Perfect. Okay, I'm no expert, but from what I figured out over the years, is that I scrubbed on this for quite a while, that piece right there, and I don't know if anyone else even thinks about this crap, but that's what I try to do, is I scrub it as long as I think I'm willing to do every piece of wood that needs scrubbing, and so that way I find out that's as good as it's gonna get. Now I can scrub a lot less and then gauge if that's efficient or not. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I scrub that for quite a bit, and I'll let it dry and see how it comes out. See how the finish comes up with some oil. The next piece I'll try to do it like half that much work, and then let it dry and see how that comes out. At least I have a benchmark now. Okay, before I sand this down, I had to take care of a little bit of delamination on the bottom. So I just mixed up some epoxy and then slid the brush in one side, then the other, smeared it around as best I could, painted over top of it a little bit just to seal it back up. Put some wax paper on it and a board on both sides and just let it go off. And that took care of that. So then sanded it down with 320 and then hit it with a coat of teak oil. Let that sit for a while, wiped it off, and came out all right. There's one coat of oil on the front and on the sides, inside and out. Looks okay. I glassed up the inside a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to put in there. Maybe leather, maybe carpet. Not sure. Okay, the bottom of this drawer has become delaminated. And it's a very thin piece of plywood. So I just cut down the edge there. And when I glue it back down, I'll start on this edge, working around there, and then that'll just very slightly overlap on what's left on that side. And that'll be okay. I'm going to fiberglass it down. Got to sand it down a bit if I can. So I use some 120. Sand it down as much as I can get to. I'm going to hold my hand up here. Press against my hand. Work my way up. Trying not to tear it. Give the fiberglass something to bond to. And I'll just wipe that down with a little bit of acetone and then I'll glass it down. Okay, start with the Pro Stick high strength adhesive. It says it bonds wood. Had it laying around. Shook the crap out of it. Taped up. Prevent about overspray. Decided not to do the fiberglass because it's really not structural. It's just tidy it up a bit. So. Probably putting too much on, but okay, that's been sitting for 1 minute. And now I'm going to stick it down. Making sure I don't get any air bubbles in there. It's amazingly flexible, this veneer. Okay, I'm pressing pretty hard, so. I reckon the fiberglass is unnecessary. This is near the sink though, so I'm going to, once this cures for a day or two, I'll oil it. Voila! One drawer repaired. Looks all right. Okay, I got some beeswax. It's pretty much available at any good furniture shop. I don't know where I got this. I can't remember. I think it was Ace Hardware. So the drawer rides on this surface here, but it also drags across this one, this surface as well. So you gotta push pretty hard when it's cold out because the wax is pretty hard. I'm just gonna wax it up. Really helps make the drawer slide nice, but not too slippery. I don't want grease on there. I hope it doesn't melt in the tropics when it gets really hot. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, here's the small drawer in the galley holder there. It was a little wonky, a little wobbly in there, so I put a screw in here, just drilled them out, and then countersunk them in there, and put some wood glue. Just opened up the gap a little bit, and because they're just stapled in with staples, not too good actually. These are holding though, but anyway. This had a little gap in there, so I opened it up with a screwdriver. Put some glue, got some glue in there. Drilled the holes. Well, before I did that, I drilled the holes, and then countersunk the screw. This piece down here was a little wobbly, so I did the same thing there. Much better. Okay, after sanding with 320, washed it, let it dry, oiled it, let it dry, wiped it off, oiled it, let it dry, wiped it off, oiled it again, let it dry, wiped it off, and just the faces. The inside of the drawers only have one coat of oil on them and been wiped off. So I think they came out all right. Let me know. Okay, just a little tip. When you pull these drawers out, they got a little lip on the bottom, a little cutout here, and that just catches on this inside there. So I sanded them down just a little bit, just to give them a little more bite. And this slight angle this way, maybe 1 degree. But that works best, I think. Now it drops in. You have to pick it up to come out. May or may not put another securing device on there of some sort. I don't know. I kind of like a little piece of leather with a stud, little tiny stud on there, so that you just pull the leather stud and then you can pull the drawer open. So just a little leather stud there, so you can pull that open. Boom. You do it with one hand. Quickly. Although I've never seen these fly open, even in pretty rough seas, but rough seas is a relative term. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. Let's see if I can see that drawer has the same thing going on there. So you have to lift it up. So cut out here. Boom. Too easy. Excuse the amateur hour here with the cameras. I'm learning. But I think it came out all right. Let me know what you think. Any suggestions, comments are more than welcome. And here's the drawer for the bottom, with just the door actually, and that gives you access inside to the through hole underneath the galley. Thank you for watching.